Yo, what's going on, everybody? So I figured I'd give you guys an update. I actually shot a video last week or the week before that, I can't remember, and for whatever reason it corrupted, so I lost all of that progress in terms of videos. But as you can see, I got the motor pulled out of the white GSR. Not sure why my video is being really choppy. I do apologize about that, but this isn't going to be like a significant video by any means anyway. So got the motor out. I power washed it, and it actually came out really good. There was a bunch of grease and stuff caked up on it, just, you know, just typical old car, leaky seals, you know. Had a axle that was bad, so of course it flung a bunch of grease everywhere, but we were able to get everything cleaned up. Shout out to my buddy Chris. Thank you for letting me borrow that. Really appreciate you. So old motor's out, new motor's there, transmission is over there. I had to fight it because the pin didn't want to come out, so I got it out, and then I found a couple cracks in the casing that I had to have welded up. Shout out to my boy Sean for doing that. So that's where we're at with this. Hopefully after the holidays we'll go ahead and get that attached to that over there and put back in here. That's all I want, and we'll start nitpicking away at it because that's literally the biggest job at the moment. All the suspension's already done, so now it's just motor into the car. But for today, what I'm doing, just to give you guys a quick update, what we're doing here is I'm doing some maintenance on this little Civic right here. I bought for $275, running and driving with title, and I say that loosely. Running and driving, it's got some problems. It's misfiring like hell. It's leaking oil. The brakes, for whatever reason, are leaking somewhere too. I think it's from that rear drum over there, which I'll get to that relatively soon here. But for now, what I'm doing is I'm just going to be doing the valve cover gasket and spark plugs and spark plug wires in it. I just got back from the junkyard. I got a couple other things for it in the back of the red GSR. I was able to find a new fender. Unfortunately, it wasn't in the same color, but as you can see, this fender needs to be replaced really bad. I was also able to find a door mirror because this one's taped up. I did find some window regulators, but for the price of that one at the junkyard, I can just get remans offline for a couple bucks more, which I found surprising. Because as you can see, there's tape, you know, holding this crap up. The interior is actually really clean, all things considering. The only downfall is the headliner is completely gone. I guess it was sagging, somebody ripped it off, and it needs visors, which I was able to pull some off at the junkyard as well. Also, this little knee panel, well, yeah, as you can see, everything's broken. Like a bunch of little crap is all broken for some reason, but we are going to be repairing all of this. I actually want to drive this car through the winter. Dang, I'm ashy as hell. Look at that. Let me put some lotion on. It's cold outside. Yeah, I want to drive this through the winter. That way I can park that. I don't want any salt getting on it. I already have patched up all the rust and whatnot, and I don't want it to get any worse. I grinded it all out, but you know, you can only get so much. I guarantee you there's probably a little bit more in there somewhere, but the way I figure is if I keep it away from salt, it should be perfectly fine. Also got some new taillights, because aren't these glorious? Look at these things, dude. Oh my god, them eBay specials. Beautiful. Straight beautiful. Look at that. Look at that. Oh, yeah. Dang, that's crazy, dog. That fucking junk ass. Yeah, anyway. Other than that, that's what I'm going to be doing today. Just getting things squared away on this little beater Civic that I'm rescuing. Shout out to the guy. His name is Blake, I believe, who sold it to me. The kid really... It's more so I don't think he knew exactly what he was doing, but he didn't actually come off as if he knew what he was doing either. He was just like, all right, replace a couple things here and there, and it's just kind of falling apart. I'm tired of tossing money into it, and I was like, you know what? It's fine by me. I can do this. I can patch this up, no problem. Get it running and driving, get rid of these gaudy wheels, those tail lights, probably the headlights too, but whatever. We'll get everything going. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna set you guys down. All I'm doing right now is I'm doing the valve cover gasket, the spark plugs. I got new plug wires, some NGKs, because these are arcing like crazy. They're just old and decrepit. So get those replaced. Hopefully that stops the misfire enough for it to actually run. I got to do the the distributor O-ring. I sprayed this down at work because it was like straight up caked up, and if you guys can tell, there's still oil. I ran it for a few minutes and just oil just started coming out. I think it's also a little high on oil too, so I was gonna have to get an oil change. But yeah, just little stuff like that. So I'll bring you guys back here in a little bit. I was going to do continuous recording, but my camera's about to die, and I need to update you guys on what's going on, so I don't want to waste the time to charge it at the moment. But like I said, I'll bring you guys back once I'm done with the top of this motor. Alright, so I got the spark plugs done, the valve cover gasket, the O-ring gasket's done. I replaced the distributor O-ring gasket as well, and when I pulled it off and tried to take the O-ring gasket itself off, it came off in literally 5 pieces. So there's no doubt in my mind that's exactly what was leaking down there. So hopefully that stops that oil leak. I believe I do have the firing order correct. These are some NGK wires I found at the yard today. I ordered some off of Amazon. However, we just recently had a tornado come through our area and it destroyed one of their facilities. God bless them. Hopefully everybody that was involved is okay. I know there's been some reported deaths, and prayers to their families for sure, because that really sucks. But anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and plug this distributor up, and we're going to see if it starts. That's a big kicker. What the hell do I do with that key? Now, we're good. Let's see what she does. burn like a kitten. That's awesome. Literally, that's all it needed. That's great. That's cheap, effective. Boom. She smokes a bit, but she's got like what, 200 and almost 300,000 miles on it. A lot of things have been serviced, obviously. I've seen the timing belt as a gate, so that's new, which is awesome. I don't have to do that. Honestly, as long as the head gasket's good, I don't expect this to be fast because it's never going to be. It's automatic with a muffler delete. And all the ones at the yard today were either rusted through or they were aftermarket, so I just avoided it. I'll have to see if I can check another yard and find it, but I don't see any oil coming down because it would normally just be like covered in this area as well. So that's awesome. Here, what I'll do is spray some brake parts cleaner down in here, maybe. And we'll see if that leak possibly continues. I'll just be watching it periodically. I think it's a little high on oil, so that also doesn't help one bit, but it sounds great for a almost 300,000 mile car. Literally so much smoke just bubbling out, man. I know it's got a bunch of condensation built up, but it's also very cold out today. It's got to check engine light. It was throwing misfires on all 4 cylinders, so I'll have to reset the ECU and see if that goes away. The idle's coming down. Nice. I'm very happy with that. Yeah, I can't tell if it's still leaking. I don't think it is, but it may be. Like I said, that O-ring was completely gone. It was hard as rock, and brittle as all hell. Nice, nice. Awesome. So I'm gonna shut it off, and what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna reset the ECU, see if that check engine light goes away, and then I'll let it idle. I haven't actually got this thing up to operating temperature since I've owned it because the misfire was so bad whenever I bought it, but we'll let it do it today. If it does, it's like 28 degrees outside. I'm literally out in my bibs, as you guys can see, and I have flip-flops on because I'm an idiot, but it is what it is. So while I'm doing that, I'm gonna set you guys down, and then we'll let it idle. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to time-lapse me replacing these Euro eBay taillights, because I got some new ones, some new to me ones, and these look like complete garbage, and this isn't 2003 anymore. So I'll be right back. I just really can't figure out for the life of me who would want these. It cost me $30 at the junkyard to grab those taillights, and it probably runs 35, 40 bucks to order these offline. You guys tell me what makes more sense to you, because that ain't it. Now doesn't that look so much better than whatever those are? Leave well enough alone. You know, I wish I can go 99 2000 because I think those taillights look the best for the EK sedans, but I'm not worried about. I don't need to be putting any money into this car outside of daily driving it anyway. So whatever there. But dude, these things are straight up fire hazards. Look at that. That's all burnt, and that one was held in by tape. This one started to burn. This one has some warpage, but it's not bad. And that one's just crap. Like, I would highly recommend that you do not buy these. I understand that you might be in a bind, and if whatever reason you can't find 96 to 98 Honda Civic sedan taillights, which are the most common chassis you will find in any junkyard, buy some used ones offline. Don't buy these. I don't care if the used market is twice what you would be paying for out of a junkyard. These are absolute trash. You might be able to get away with the LED ones. I think they make LED rear tail lights for these things, but they're also eBay. So, you know, if you're going to buy aftermarket tail lights, make sure you buy it from a reputable place. Do not buy from some no-name Euro cheap plastic. Costs 30 cents to make them tops, and they sell them to you for 35, 40 bucks. Don't do that. OEM, reputable, aftermarket, or nothing. Do not do that. So the next thing on our agenda here is I'm going to go ahead and start messing with the interior. So obviously I'm going to replace the panel here. I have a whole new one. I got to replace this guy right here because none of my dash lights work. The dash lights don't work, and like the lights for the heat and air, AC and everything do not work either. So a common problem with that is this dimmer switch. I got this whole assembly. It doesn't matter. I mean, I figured just in case I just grab it all, but because I couldn't remember if this was actually in condition or not, but it is. However, it's got to come out, and instead of fighting with pulling this out, I'll just pull the entire assembly out, unclip it, and then put the new one in. That simple. Next, we're going to do the sun visors as well. So I'm gonna put those on. I don't know why the sun visors are taking off, but then again, I really just don't even know what's going on in all this top portion of this vehicle anyway. But it is what it is. We have the bolts and we have the visors, so we're gonna pop those bad boys in. I don't really know a good way to record the interior of the car, but it's not all that exciting to begin with. Well, none of this has been, but I just don't see a point in trying to record it. So I'm gonna go ahead and set you guys down, and I'll bring you back once I got this panel in and those up. And then what we're gonna attempt to do, I say attempt because these brakes are on some other crap, I wanted to attempt to at least take it down the street to see how it feels. It does have like a low tire, but it's fine. We'll just go around the block, not even a mile, half a mile maybe. But I'll see you guys back real quick. So I was about to go ahead and put the kick panel on, and to do that I had to move the window, the mirror switch into that panel, and I figured out that this is missing the back portion of it, and somebody cut the plug. What is this? Who does this? That's ridiculous. That was not, well, never mind, I found the back portion of it. What happened here? Why has this been cut? Why is this broken? I could have pulled one at the yard today had I known that, but that's what I get for not double checking, I suppose. But it's not something that you would think would be an issue. Doesn't look burnt. I'm not really understanding what's going on with this car. I'm just going to smack this in just because I don't want that gap, but I guess I'll have to you know, honestly, I'm not even going to worry about it. I don't really see a purpose in needing power door mirrors, but unless they tie into something else, then we have a problem. I hope they're not the reason that the dash lights don't work, because that would suck. But I guess we'll see here in a second. All right, so visors done. Put the new mirror on. The last one, I think they like tried to seal it. There was like epoxy on the inside. It was taped up. It was just atrocious. Got the new yeah, dimmer switch in, and really I think that's it. So we're going to attempt to drive it. I don't really have too much faith because these brakes are a little sketchy. Let's make sure the ECU reset itself. We're not throwing any more codes. All right, so far so good. Let's start her up. Okay. Okay, so we have this light working, but I don't believe the dash lights are working. Nope. So my guess is that atrocious wiring down there where it looks like they cut this has something to do with it too. I'll have to look into it, see if it actually, I'll see if I can find a diagram and if it actually controls that. If it doesn't, and it's something else, truth be told, guys, I mean, I guess it could be the stock, but my headlights work. Truth be told, I'm probably just put an LED strip on the inside of the actual cluster itself that goes across the top, and just wired it into like auxiliary power, so it's always on. That way we can actually see what we're doing. I'm not really so much worried about this glowing, because I mean I kind of know what that is just by heart from dealing with so many Civics, but that is what it is, unfortunately. So well, see if the radio works. I tried it. Okay, so it looks like the rear speakers are working, the front speakers are not working. That's weird. That's what it is. All right, well, we're going to take it around the block, see if this transmission actually shifts, because I don't even know that much, to be honest with you. I pulled it on the trailer and pulled it off the trailer. That's literally all I've done. So, let's see here. Oh my God, brakes just pretty much went to the floor. Anything? A little bit of pressure. Oof. That feels sketchy. Man, oh man. Well, the luxury of an automatic, I can video while I drive in Mexico somewhere. So, let's see what it feels like at least going down the block. Suspension doesn't feel horrible. Okay. No hard shift in the drive. Okay. Shift pretty decent. Going in a second. We're hanging. Trying to go into third. We're at $2.5 grand. There it is. Third. Okay. Ooh, these brakes. We'll rub on the fender, these big old 17s. A little bit of slippage, okay. A little bit of slippage. I haven't checked the tranny fluid either, to be honest with you. Only thing I checked was the oil and the coolant. They may need serviced. Not bad though. I mean, like I said, we ain't got crap for brakes, honestly, but I'm thinking it's leaking somewhere. That or the master cylinder's bad. One of the two. It's not seeming to hold too much fluid at all. We'll just go at reasonable speed, so especially since we're in the neighborhood right now. Don't want any accidents to happen. Yeah, well, I mean, really ask for too much more than what we got out of a $275 vehicle. First and second feels good. I need to get it on like the actual road and see what it does going into third and fourth, but I also need to get air in this tire because it's incredibly low. So I'm gonna put you guys down. I'm gonna limp this thing out to a gas station and get some air because I don't have a compressor at the house, and we'll try and see what it feels like, you know, driving just road speeds. All right, so we just got back from our Mexico test drive, and the car feels fine in terms of, like, you know, the motor does what it needs to do. The transmission slips going in a second under light throttle. Now, if you're at cruising, it doesn't do it. So I'll have to look into that. I honestly don't know too much about the automatic Honda transmissions because I never really dealt with any automatic Honda. I've always preferred the manuals, and I still do. However, this thing was so cheap, it would have been stupid for me not to buy it. So I'll look into that. It floats a little bit in terms of steering. I think it's probably got some ball joints up front that are a little worn out. I mean, granted, they've probably never been replaced, so I'll have to look into it. Honestly, I'll probably just get a master, like, OEM kit. Just do the uppers, lowers, and the inner and outer tie rods, hopefully. Other than that, man, the ride's fine. I mean, it does Civic crap. You can't really ask for too much more. It needs a muffler because I cannot stand the sound, number one, of an automatic car with exhaust on it, especially with a Honda. It sounds absolutely horrible. So we'll go ahead and look into that. I gotta say, honestly, I'm not mad at it for what it is. Let me get you guys set down here, and I guess I can tell you how I came across this car and why it was so cheap. Alright, so like I said, I bought this car for $275. Reason being is because he originally sold it the night before I bought it. Sold it to some woman who didn't test drive it, didn't ask any questions about it. She handed him $800 for the car and took off. And he said a few hours later they were throwing a fit about the car because of all the problems that it had. So he told them that they could have their money back, which he's better than me, because you're coming to buy a used car, you didn't read the Facebook post, you just hop in and drive it. I wouldn't have given you the money back. You didn't do your research. You didn't pay attention to what I was saying. You just seen a cheap car and hopped on it. Read the post. She could have got out there and the car could have had no title. But whatever. Like I said, he's a lot better than I am. I just would have been like, whatever. And it's not about being a good person. It's just due diligence. Take responsibility for yourself for not doing what you had to do prior to purchasing a car that needed work. But anyway, I offered him $400 originally because he updated the post with some of the problems that it was having that weren't originally there before. And like, respect to him, that's great, you know. We're going back and forth a little bit. I was like, look, man, like, I can come get it right now for $800. Oh, I'm sorry, $400. I'll go get a truck and trailer from work, and I'll head your way. He was like, okay, cool, awesome. So I get out there, I meet him, super nice kid. We're talking about the car. He told me everything that he knew what was wrong with it, which is great. I appreciate him for that. And I started to notice other things that were problematic. For example, brakes. Not there at all. This thing is sketchy to drive because your foot's going all the way to the floor before it stops. That's not cool. Come to find out, the passenger side rear drum is leaking for some reason. I'm gonna have to replace whatever it is. I'm not too familiar with drum brakes. I've only really owned a crap ton of Integras, all of which are, you know, rear disc brake cars. And it's not that I'm uncomfortable doing it, but I think it's going to be a process. I'll have to actually do some really deep research. I'll probably actually go ahead and get a Haynes manual for something like that, just because I only want to do it once, so I can do it right. That's it. Right once. So we'll do that. Just, you know, nitpicking that little stuff. I told him, I was like, yeah, this thing's like misfiring real bad, you know, whatever. He said he replaced the cap and rotor, which seems as he has. It looks like an AutoZone cap and rotor. That's fine. But he did not replace the spark plug wires. Why he didn't replace the spark plug wires, I don't know. So I got it to work. I pulled all the spark plugs, and it was arcing like crazy. There's literally just watching shot go everywhere on each individual cylinder. And I was like, yo, that's crazy. So I ordered some, but due to the Amazon and the tornado and everything, unfortunately, they're delayed, which is fine. It's not a big deal. I was able to find some NGKs at the junkyard. They're used, but they're NGK spark plug wires. They're probably better than the ones I ordered to begin with anyway, so I'm not really worried about it. They seem to work perfectly fine. I went ahead and replaced the spark plugs themselves. The ones that were in it weren't bad, but they were just, you know, coated in oil. I mean, the car's got 300,000 miles on it, so I guarantee it's probably got a decent amount of flow by. I'll have to watch the consumption. Other than that, there's just little stuff here and there, like the oil leak. Come to find out, you know, once I got the distributor off and I looked at the O-ring, it's super brittle, it's super rock hard. So I literally took a screwdriver and tapped it, and it fell into 5 pieces. And I was like, all right, well, there's that. That's why it's leaking so much oil. Replace the O-ring, replace the gaskets for the valve cover, which he did replace the valve cover itself gasket, but he didn't replace the O-rings for the spark plug tubes, and they were folding in to the actual spark plug hole itself. And I understand why, because those things can be a pain to get out because they become rock solid and they don't want to budge. But that's what a torch is for, and a little bit of patience. I just feel like it's ridiculous to do that, because then it also causes oil leak into the spark plug holes as well. I mean, the kid didn't know what he was doing, and he didn't act like he knew what he was doing, which was great. I really appreciate someone who's like that. He's like, look, I don't know exactly what's going on. This is what I've done. And things seem to have gotten worse since I've touched it. And I was like, you know what happens? You're just trying to get a car running. You don't know what you're doing. YouTube helps somewhat, but you have to do the job 100% complete. And unfortunately, he didn't, which Like I said, not taking anything away from it. It's fine. But that and the window regulators do not work. So this one and the driver one work. This one does not, and the one over there, the passenger or the driver rear doesn't work. I have to replace those. That'll run me like 60 bucks for the both of them, and at the junkyard they're also 30 bucks, which I was like, that's ridiculous. Why am I going to spend $30 on some ones that might work when I can just get some remanufactured ones that are guaranteed to work and not have to do the job twice? The door handles, rear door handles do not work. If you can see in there, here, I'll just open up this door. That's just chilling. I don't know why. It is what it is. Same thing with that one over there. I'm not sure why it's like that. You have to pull, do some funky stuff and pull, I guess. I don't know. I'm just going to replace them. I couldn't find decent ones at the junkyard that were the same color as the interior in this car. I found a few tan ones, but I don't want to put tan ones in. The tint, absolutely horrible. So I'm guessing that this window, when the regulator went bad, it fell, it probably shattered, because this is the only one that isn't tinted. This one's tinted, the driver one's tinted, the driver rear is tinted, and the back glass is tinted, and I cannot see anything out of the back glass. I can't see anything out the rearview mirror. So I'm gonna have to just bite the bullet on that and take the time one day and just get a heat gun and a razor and just start scraping away. That is tedious, annoying work. I don't know if you guys have ever removed tint, but I hate doing it. Half the time I refuse to do it, but it's at that point where I literally just can't see. That's dangerous, especially considering I have to drive St. Louis highways all the time. And if you guys know anything about St. Louis drivers, they suck. So I need to do that. This one bubbled up real bad as well. One thing I did notice is that since I replaced this one's perfectly fine. I didn't know that it was having the same problem on the other side. I wish I would have known. I would have grabbed one. But I guess if it comes down to it, we can just pull one off of the coupe. I don't want to, but you know, whatever. And the fender. So when I got out there, I seen the fender. I asked him what happened. He said he sideswiped something, whatever. I was like, okay, you know, that's fine. I mean, you know, accidents happen. It's an old car, so I really can't be mad about it. So I was like, all right, since I'll have to replace that and a few other things, and then come to find out that this wiper arm didn't work either. I'm like, look, I have to replace this, and this. And on top of that, there is an oil leak and a brake leak. Now, I don't want to be that guy, but you have to understand that it's a 97 Civic, and I'm going to have to put reasonably $500, $600, $700 into it to get it, you know, proper, and for it to pass emissions, which he said it did pass emissions and safety, but the front windshield's cracked. I'm not really sure how that happened. I have ways around that. I was like, look, I can give you $250. I know that's down from the $400 that I offered you, but the car is in rougher condition than what I thought it was. And he was like, could you do $300? And I was like, how about this? Could you possibly just meet me in the middle at $275? And he took it right there on the spot. I was like, great. I cash apped him the money, and he brought me the title, clean and clear. I was like, all right, cool. That was that. I loaded it up, drove it to work, dropped it off, messed with it a little bit and on my lunch break. Couldn't get it to run right. Was what it was. Pulled up. I sprayed down the engine bay because it was covered, literally covered in probably like a 1/4 inch of grease. Like I could put my finger into it and it come up to right about here. Sprayed it down with our power washer, got a good amount of that off and left a huge mess, unfortunately. But it is what it is. That's what we do. And now, as you guys have seen today, this is what we've done. So we've repaired, I'd say 60% of what needs to be repaired. Reason being is because I found some things along the way that also need repaired. You just never know with these older cars. So probably, hopefully within the next couple of weeks, I can have this thing at least in driving condition. I have to do front end work because it floats really bad. I think the tire rods are bad. Just you turn the steering wheel like this and the car doesn't move at all. It keeps driving straight until you hit a bump that it, you know, does whatever it wants to do. So yeah, that's where we're at with this car. Sorry to go on a little, I guess, tangent there, but I figured I'd give you guys exactly what needs to be done. Like I said, it's just going to be a daily driver. I'm not putting a crap ton of money into this car. Just need it to A to B, AC and heat, be comfortable while I'm doing it. It's a Honda Civic from the 90s. And to do all that plus more and give me great gas mileage. That's all I'm hoping for. But anyway, that's it. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Thank you for coming along with me. I'll keep you guys updated. I'll probably not really make another video on this car. I'll probably just update through passing while we finish that bad boy up in there. But I figured I'd want to show you guys literally the cheapest car I have ever bought. $275. That's great. You can't beat it, even though it needs, honestly, probably like $300 in work at the moment. You can't beat that. So once again, thank you guys. I'm gonna let you go. It's cold out here. I'm freezing my balls off. I hope you guys have a wonderful day. Everybody stay safe and be easy. Peace.